Hello? Okay. Hi. I think this is working because I see my voice moving on the screen in front of me.
That's working.
All right, so I'm live and on and talking into a stream. That makes sense. I just hit the button. Hi. This is October Revolution, who apparently does not know how to use computers, but I'm here at Quincy Hall for the third North Star Roller Derby bout of our season. I would like to welcome you here to our bout that's about to begin. Our first bout tonight will begin in just a little while. That's going to be the Bangers versus the Deltas. Then our second bout will happen later tonight, and that is the Kilmores versus the Violent Friends. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. I am October Revolution. I have been an announcer here for North Star Roller Derby since 2012, and I've been with the league since 2010. So a very, very long time. But that also means I'm old and I don't know how computers work. So hopefully we can all see and talk to each other. So we're about 5 minutes or so away from roller derby tonight, from our rollouts and our introductions. I wanted to kind of bring us in so we can talk about it. I'm going to show you the teams and announce their names now so that I don't go over the rollouts there. So you're going to see the teams twice, and that's by design and not by accident, because I think that you'll have fun watching it on the stream, but also we've got some cool graphics you might enjoy as well. So first I'm going to do the officials. This is the North Star Roller Derby officials. There's Aces in Skates, Alien Princess, Bex Machina, Bookum Dando, D-Rex, Dr. Donna, Enigma, Evil Red, Gal Jazeera, Murder Strut, Necromabomb, Phantom, Phoenix, Pity Party, Polly Pester, Rinky Tink, Salmonellin, Sear, Slay Station 2, Sauerkraut, The Mad Satyr, Valhalla, Wanda Go, and that is your North Star Roller Derby officials of this evening. So we will be seeing them all here on the track, next to the track, sitting next to me, all over this building, doing the things that make the roller derby work, like counting points and putting them on scoreboards and timing penalties and other such slights. I'm going to do some skater intros too while I'm at it, just so that we can see their beautiful videos, and then later when they roll out, you can also see their beautiful rollouts. So we're going to be looking first at the Bangers. So here they are. This is the Bangers for our Cryptids bout. We've got number 42, A Girl Has No Name. Number 28, AK Slider. Number 303, Crescent Wench. Number 12, El Dente. Number 1300, Katarina Hit. Number 80, Kitten Boots. Number 40, Lucille Smalls. Number 57, Nacho Lady. Number 999, Natural Disaster. Number 510, Patty Nar. Number 711, Rezuka Bubblegum. Number 314, Root Barb. Number 45, Scarlet Raven. Number 1, Thorn. And your bench coaches, Shikola, Stabby Cat, Judgment Bay, and Mythbusty. That is your Bangers.
Folks, let's get going, huh?
Oh, you can hear the 5-minute backstage call. For any theater friends out here, we just had the Places call because we're 5 minutes in the beginning of the bout. I'm going to do the next team, which is the Deltas. I'm going to do their rollout video, and then we will have a little bit of time before we start down there on the track with our festivities. So let's see the deltas. Delta die. 300 aerial assault. Holla, that's baller. 796.2 Black-Eyed Susie. Number 16 Blue Barracuda. Number 40, that's Crust Almighty. Number 7, that's Guillotina. Number 46, that is Hit List. Number 622 Kilroy. Number 612, that's Lunatic. Number 2x4 Lumberjill. 666 Sailor Doom. Number 4 Shankarilla. Number 20, that's Slim Sadie. 1964, that's Sunny Ono. Number 3, that is Super Hut. Number 19, that is Undervalued Participant. Number 29, that's Zaboomafoo. And bench coaches are Jack and David Specialhoff. And that is the deltas. Our jam line sponsor tonight is Marty's Deli. Marty's Deli is your local sandwich shop located on a sunny corner right here in Northeast Minneapolis. All pickles, breads, and spreads are made in-house. Yum. That is Marty's Deli. We'll talk more about that throughout the night. The penalty box sponsor is Class Act Cats Litter Box. So our penalty box is apparently also a litter box. That is an interesting turn of events. So those are our sponsors. Thank you so much. Also, all of our timeouts will be brought to you by Total Wellness Chiropractic. They're in Roseville. They're accepting new patients, and they're committed to empowering individuals to achieve optimal health and wellness while giving them knowledge and tools to take care of themselves. So I'm going to stop talking for a minute so you can hear what's going on in the venue, and we'll pick this back up after our introductions.
First thing we're going to talk about tonight, please welcome to the track. They're already out there. Give it up for the Deltas!
Yeah. Hello, welcome back. We're back from a quick little verse, and we are done with introductions and about to go back to the track. It's a full house in here. You can't really see it because you're focused on the track, but there is quite a few people here to watch our bout. The weather is nice in Minnesota today, given that it was above 0 for a majority of the day. Yep. Including right now, where it is a balmy and warm 20 degrees here at Quincy Hall in northeast Minneapolis. Looks like our officials are about to take the track and around the facility in order to keep us safe and legal, and also so we know what's actually going on in this game. Right after them, we're going to have a little bit of... Oh, you turned me up. Hi, I got turned up. After that, we're going to have a little bit of Derby 101, so don't be surprised when that comes out. I heard that the satellites are going to be doing Derby 101 tonight, so it'll be a wonderful treat. Yeah, here they are. The satellites are our recreational team. It's people who are retired and still want to play, or people who are new and they're not sure they want to be on a team yet. They practice at least once a week, and they have a great, super fun time. And today they're going to be doing Derby 101 for us. So they're going to be explaining how roller derby works. So in roller derby, if you've never done it before, though I would be excited if one of the 5 people watching this stream is brand new to the sport, but it involves 2 teams of 5, and of those, 4 people from each of the teams on the track are blockers. 5 are from one team, and the other team. So you've got the 8 skaters that are there standing in a horizontal line are called blockers. One of them is the pivot. And the pivot has a little bit more powers, that mostly they all work together to create the pack. And the pack is what defines our area of gameplay, so where you can block and be blocked and score points. They're explaining a star pass. The jammer who has the star on their helmet can pass that star to a pivot who then can become the jammer. They're the only player that can do that, and it can only happen once in a jam per team. So the jammers are the only people who can score points. They line up behind that back horizontal line. They can't go over it until after the whistle that you will hear, called the jam whistle. And then once the jam starts, you hear that one whistle. You're about to hear it now. Yep. And so the jammers are trying to get their way through the pack, and the ones who can pass all of the blockers of the opposite team upright and inbounds, they get called the lead jammer. The lead jammer has some special powers. They can call the jam off at any time before the 2-minute conclusion of the jam. They also can score points, and they can give their helmet cover to the pivot if they want to. So that is how the jammer works. So when that jammer completes that initial pass where they are or are not awarded lead, they then begin a second pass. That second pass is called a scoring pass. So no points are scored until right now. And how points are scored are the hips of the jammer has to go around the hips of the blocker, and that blocker needs to be inbounds, and the jammer needs to be upright and inbounds when that point is scored. So basically each blocker can be an equivalent to 1 point. There's anyone in the penalty box. The second you pass the first blocker of the opposing team, you get any points from in the penalty box. Have you seen now there was a star pass you could see on this on the track. So now there's a new jammer for the team in black. Gonna call off that jam. So when a jammer taps their hips like that, nice and big, that can call off the jam. Only the lead jammer can do it. You can do it only if you remain lead jammer. So you would lose that status if you go to the penalty box. So you have to still have it to do it. And then once you call that jam off, the gameplay ends until we get 30 seconds, and then we start again. So that's kind of how that works. I'm not sure how much you actually heard me because it is extremely loud in this venue. I could just be talking to myself. Yeah, that's roller derby. I can't really hear myself think, so I'm also going to struggle a little bit. If you can't hear me or need me to answer something or want me to change some audio, something or other, just put it in the chat. I can see you for now anyway. And yeah, we will figure it out. All right, we're about to get going now. So we've got 2 teams on the track. So we got Slim Sadie, who's the jammer in pink, against Katarina Hitt, who's the jammer in blue. Slim Sadie is ahead of Katarina right now, lead jammer, and called it off because Katarina caught up. It's going to be a 0-0 jam, or off to the races, as they say. So my point of view is not 100% great, so sometimes I can't see what's happening, but I'm going to do the best that I can to tell you what's going on when I can see it and when you can see it. But where I'm standing is also where it's the hardest for you to see on the screen. So we're doing the best of what we've got. We've got Sailor Doom jamming for the Delta. Sailor Doom is the lead jammer. Then we've got number 510 for the Bangers. That is Patty Nar, who is jamming and stuck. Looks like Patty Nar is headed to the penalty box, and in her hand is the helmet cover, so I believe that means that she's, oh, no, wait. Patty Nar got up from the penalty box and is now back on the track. I believe there was some miscommunication about who should be in the penalty box. There's a blocker for the Bangers now sitting in the box, which means that Patty Nar is still on the track but is in her initial pass. Sailor Doom has completed at least one scoring pass. You were up to 16 points for Sailor Doom, so it's 16-0 right now. That's happening. I also can't see the clock, so it's 16-0 on that jam, 20-0 on that jam. It's gonna call it off and be done, and yeah, we're gonna reset for a second. I'm gonna try and fix the scoreboard. All right, and we are off once again. That is Baller, who is jamming for the Deltas, gets lead right out of the gate. And the jammer for the Bangers is sitting in the box. I believe that is still Patty Nar. Baller is now up 4 points on this jam, completing that first scoring pass. So Patty Nar is still stuck inside the pack. I see the helmet cover off of her hand though, so could be going to somebody else. I'm not sure quite yet what's about to happen with that. As we go, we're gonna be now up to, looks like 7 points. Oh, it's a cut called for Baller at the front of the pack. This is going to be a 2-minute jam, and now a power jam for Patty Nar and the Bangers. That was beautiful because Everybody was waiting to see if Baller was going to yield, and she did not. And so here we are. I don't. Probably. So it looks like the helmet cover is in the hand of the pivot, but that pivot should not have had that helmet cover. So Patty Nar is still the jammer for the bangers. The pivot from the banger, whose I did not see who it was before they disappeared, is now sitting in the penalty box because that was an illegal star pass. Baller is out of the box. Remember, this is going to be a 2-minute jam. I don't have a timer right now because we're trying to fix the overlay, but the refs will tell us when this jam is done. So far on the jam, it looks like the score is 30-0. And we're going to keep going. We're going to mess around to try and fix the scoreboard, so if something happens, we know when we're coming back. I don't know what's going to happen here.
Don't worry about it right now. Don't worry about it right now.
And the jammer going to Lunatic from the Deltas. That's 3 in a row now for them. It's going to be 3 for the Deltas as that jam ends. So it's going to be 33-0 for the Deltas. I'm sorry if I just cursed on the stream. I knocked a chair over. I don't know if it came out of my mouth or not, but if it did, I didn't mean it. Please don't tell my mom or my child or the internet or Double H, and anyone that gets that joke has been around way too long. All right. Looks like lead goes to the Deltas once again. I cannot see who that is, but and we're back. Yay. Score is 33-0. 13 minutes left in this half. I now feel like I have... All right, we're back and we're up, and the score is 42-3. It's a little under 12 minutes left in this half. Your jammer, early jammer right now, is from the Deltas. And that is going to be Sailor Doom, who is now jamming and racking up those points. Looks like 12 on the jam so far. So another big jam for the Deltas. They've been putting up some numbers, as they say, given that we're 6 jams into this half, and the score is already almost halfway to 100. So pretty high scoring for the Deltas. Not quite so much for the Bangers. All right, that's going to be a call off for that. That's going to be 3 more points up on the board for the Deltas. And so that is a 15-point jam for Sailor Doom on the Deltas. So a huge jam for her. And just a really, really big night so far for the Deltas in this first game of the evening. If you ever come to Northeast, make sure you go to Francis. So you're looking for brunch tomorrow, you head down the street. It's It's Francis Burger Joint. It's only fully vegan and full bar establishment. Well, nothing was killed to make their burgers. It doesn't mean they don't make a killer burger. I've eaten there and it's delightful. I highly recommend it. So head over to Francis. Lead right now for the Deltas, that is Baller. Baller now in a scoring position, and that scoring pass number 42 is a girl has no name. She is jamming for the Bangers. Baller coming through and calling off that jam. I'm going to see what the score is for the whole thing. That's going to be 3 more. It's 7 total on the jam for Baller. Going to be 7 unanswered points. Brings our score to 56 for the Deltas, 3 for the Bangers. And we're going to head into jam number 8. So on the line, I see for the Bangers, that is Scarlet Raven, who is fostering today. Then on the line for the Deltas, that's number 612. That's going to be the Lunatic. Scarlet Raven getting knocked to the inside by Crest Almighty, being pushed back in, but Lunatic is having a hard time on the outside by Nacho Lady and Marlboro Dread. Coming out into the apex and then out of the apex, Lunatic was able to find that extra space around the outside. Jammer's best friend is the far edge of the apex, and so that's going to give lead Jammer to Lunatic and the Deltas once again. I believe that they are unchallenged so far in that lead Jammer. They've gotten in every jam we've had. Looks like there's been a star pass, so the Jammer now for the Bangers is number 57. That is Nacho Lady, so number 57 is the Jammer. Lunatic going through, picking up 4 points, and everyone in the building being like, call that jam off. So she called that jam off. 4 points on the jam for the Delta. It's going to bring us to 60 for them. The Bangers still at 3. We've got 8 minutes left in this half. And we're lining up one more time. And we've got on the line for the Bangers, that is number 1300, Katarina Hit. And then for the Deltas, the new lead jammer is number 20, and that is Slim Sadie. Slim Sadie is up at the front, up against 4 Bangers in a kind of amoeba formation. Now we've got 2 up at the front. That bunch of whistles going on. Looks like some multiplayer blocks. They're going to send 2 of the blockers from the Bangers to the box, meaning there's only 2 on the track at the moment. But at the same time, 2 of the Deltas also went to the box. So we've got a really small pack, a mini pack, not a micro pack. Katarina Hit still stuck back there, hasn't completed her initial pass, whereas we're now seeing the second scoring pass being completed by Slim Sadie from the Deltas, up to 8 on the jam. Katarina Hit now able to complete that scoring pass for the first time, gonna more than double the score for the Bangers, bringing them up to 7. Another 4 points go up on the board for the Deltas, so we're seeing 12 points for the Deltas, 4 for the Bangers. Our score is 72-7. 72-7 with 6.5 minutes left in this half. So in the most Minneapolis Northeast thing ever, somebody is parked on the wrong street on Quincy and is going to get towed. And I'm just sharing that because, you know, if you want to understand what it feels like to be in Northeast Minneapolis, know that your car is always a second away from being towed. Lead jammer goes to the Delta die once again. That's going to be number 666, Sailor Doom. Jamming for the Bangers, number 45, Scarlet Raven. Scarlet able to get out and cause that call off after only 4 points by the Deltas. It's a big win for the Bangers. They've had a lot of multi-pass scoring jams so far in this first half, so being able to tighten that up and cause those call offs or go point to point is the way to do it. I see a bunch of people peering out the window to see if it's their car on Quincy, and then a skater that I'm not going to tell you what team heading for the door. So maybe it's a skater whose car is parked on Quincy. I don't know, but I'm enjoying the intrigue. This is a team timeout for the Bangers. They're going to take a minute to try and regroup, which isn't shocking. Given that they've had a little bit of a run against them, it's a good time for me to tell you to get your gut right with Jay's Kombucha, a mellow St. Paul kombucha packed with probiotics and flavored with cold pressed juice, available in cans, kegs, and growlers. So you can check out Kay's Kombucha in St. Paul. I just know that we are in Quincy Hall, so if you got a celebration, if you want to get married at the same place that we play roller derby, or you want to throw a giant work party at the same place that we play roller derby, you can do that. This is Quincy Hall, beautiful space, very large space. They host weddings, nonprofits, corporate events, large social occasions. You can find more information about them at quincyhallmn.com, and you too can have a beautiful, wonderful night here in Northeast Minneapolis, where you should not park on Quincy, but you should park your butt inside Quincy. All right, we're back to go. We got Baller jamming for Delta Dive. Baller is able to get lead jammer right off the track before they get to turn one. Katarina Hit, though, finds a line on the outside, gets through, and is now also scoring eligible. Baller back on the outside once again. Is able to pick up what I assume is going to be 4 points. Yes, it's 4 points. Calls that off before Katarina Hit can even get to the pack. It's going to be a quick 4-0 jam for the Delta. Is going to bring that score 80 for the Deltas, 7 for the Bangers, and we are headed into jam 12. Penalty Box is sponsored by Class Act Cats, so it's our Class Act Cats litter box. They're located in downtown. They are turn your cat from sassy to classy. Class Act Cats helps cat parents with common and frustrating cat behavior problems solve their cat behavior woes, even after they feel like they've tried everything. I need to go there because I have a cat that likes to pee on my clothes if I leave them anywhere. So I'm going to go check out Class Act Cats to say, help me. I need help with my cats. I'm sure you too have a cat that does something you don't want them to do, because that's a cat. So check them out. All right, we've been in this jam for quite a bit. We've got number 510 jamming for the Bangers. That is going to be Patty Nar. For the Deltas, we are looking at Lunatic. As far as I can tell, we do not have a lead jammer quite yet, though that was an out of play or illegal position block being called on a blocker from the Bangers. 2 blockers are now in that Class Act Cat litter box for the Deltas. So for the first time tonight, you see a Banger as the lead jammer. That's why this place got so loud. That pack advantage really a big help. Going to be Patty Nar going through that pack, getting caught up at the front. That's going to be Aerial Assault, who slowed her down, forces that call off. Looks like 0 for blue, 4 for the Deltas. That's going to bring this jam 4-0, 84-7 so far in the half. So our timeout that we just had was sponsored by Total Wellness Chiropractic. Total Wellness Chiropractic is in Roseville, and they're accepting new patients. They're committed to empowering individuals to achieve optimal health and wellness. You can meet with Catherine of Total Wellness in Roseville. All right, so we've got lead jammer Katarina Hit. First time tonight for her. Normally she sees that L pointing at her quite a bit. She is being followed by Slim Sadie, who's also out and scoring eligible. Katarina's going to get through that pack pretty quick and call that jam off. We'll see if that's a 4-0 jam, as she hoped it is. Going to be 4 unanswered points. I believe the first unanswered points for the Bangers tonight brings that score to 11. Going to be 84-11, and we've got 2.5 minutes left in the first half of this game. All right, we're lined up once more. That's going to be Scarlet Raven in blue, Sailor Doom in pink. Sailor Doom able to get around to the front. That's Kilroy providing the assist. Sailor Doom is now lead. that caused a star pass. It's going to be number 8. Okay, so it looks like the camera's still going. All right, so we've got the beauty of the 3 in the front, 3 in the back, bridge in the middle. Everybody says, nah, it's too late for this nonsense. Calls that jam off. We're going to see if there's any score happening on that. It doesn't appear that there is. We're going to have a 0-0 jam. Probably the second of the night, if I'm thinking about it. But yeah, you're going to get that 0-0 jam, which gives us time to reset here. We've got Scarlet Raven and Baller on that line. Old friends. First time together. Baller shimmying through the inside of that pack is lead jammer. Scarlet Raven trying on the outside and just is getting shut down by Crust Almighty and Guillotina over and over again. Now is trying on. It's halftime.
Halftime?
Yeah. Looks like we're at halftime, so I'm going to turn this off and we will be back in 10 or so minutes. Enjoy your break. Hello? Yeah, this is on still.
I don't know, or something.
Test. Nope.
Like, flipping, so like there might be some
Test. I don't know.
happening.
This mic is hot. I can't make it not hot.
That'll do it.
That'll do.
What the no?
Hello. Welcome back. It's me, October Revolution, and we're coming back for the second half of the bout between the Bangers and the Delta Delta Die. Score going into the half was 98-11, with the Deltas on top, and we're heading back into it. We've got jamming for the Delta Delta Die is Slim Sadie, and for the Bangers, that's going to be Katarina Hits. Jam line in this bout is brought to you by Marty's Deli. It's your local sandwich shop here in Northeast Minneapolis. So thank you, Marty's Deli. And Katarina Hit is now lead jammer for the Bangers. Going to be only the second or third time in the bout so far that the Bangers have been able to get lead. A good way to start the second half for her. She's fighting through to try and get those points. The waterfall was able to stymie her long enough to force the call off. All 4 points on the board for Katarina Hit. Going to start this half off 4-0 for the Bangers. Wanted to tell you all about Cream and Amber. It's located in downtown Hopkins, which is adorable, and you should go there. Hopkins is great. Cream and Amber is a new and used bookstore serving coffee and craft beer. So you can stop down, get a salted butterscotch latte, local wonderful gifts. You can get yourself a beer. I want to go there right now. I love books and beer and coffee and Hopkins. So check them out. Backblock now being called on the jammer from the Delta is going to be a lost lead. Jammer for the Bangers is Patty Nar. So Patty Nar is currently our only jammer on the track. Lead is still open, which means that Patty Nar can be lead, but the Delta jammer, whose number I cannot see because I do not see that good, cannot be lead, even once returning to the track. And that jammer that was in the box and is back now is Sailor Doom. So Sailor Doom is not eligible to be lead, but she is back in play. She has to complete this, which is her initial pass, and then go around again to score points. If she gets out of the pack, she then has to make the other lap to be scoring eligible. Patty Nar is still in that pack, has not completed the initial lap, but is lead eligible. So if Patty Nar were to complete this initial lap, she could be declared lead jammer and then call the jam off. So if she is able to get free, she would theoretically, if she does it with all the players upright and inbounds, have the powers of lead jammer. But right now she's stuck in the back, taking that star cover off. So if Patty Nar completes a star pass, she cannot then be lead. She's lost lead. So it looks like we're going to have a 2-minute jam, of which we are pretty close to. Sailor Doom now just completing that second scoring pass, 7 points on the jam. Looks like Patty Nar did complete that initial pass, but did not have the helmet cover on, so could not be lead. So like I said, we're going to finish this at 2-minute jams. Patty Nar now is scoring eligible, so everybody whose hips she passes is a point. That's going to be the 2-minute mark that's called up. We'll see how the chips have fallen. Looks like 10 points total went to Sailor Doom and the Deltas, and we're going to have 0 points to the Bangers. So looks like Patty Nar did not pass an undervalued participant's hips. I wasn't sure about that, so it looks like no. Score's going to be 108-15. We've got about 16 and a half minutes left in this half, so very, very big game for the Delta Delta Die. Bangers still struggling to find their footing here into the second half. Lunatic is lead jammer now for the Deltas. Looks like Scarlet Raven working that outside line, but having trouble staying in bounds, and has a lot of awareness on where those feet are and how not to get those track cuts. Going to be 4 points now on the board for Lunatic, who is basically untouched. The Bangers are really struggling today to cover the inside and outside lines as well as staying together. So they just really aren't providing the kind of resistance that is needed to slow down this Delta Delta Die team. But Scarlet Raven was able to get out, get around, get through that pack, picks up 3 points on that jam, bringing that score to 18 for the Bangers. Everyone's excited. Everyone's happy about it. 8 points for Lunatic brings that total score to 116-18. Deltas are still in the lead. Don't forget West Photo. For more than 40 years, West Photo has been the photographer's photo store. West Photo has the equipment, knowledge, and service you can only get from people who are part of the photographic community. Check out West Photo. Lead jammer now going to a Delta die. It looks like it is going to be Shankarella, who was lead. Forced that call off, though, as Katarina hit that just appeared behind her. Was like, oop, here I am. And she's like, yeah, we're not going to play that game, and called it off. So that's a 0-0 jam. Score remains 116-18 with the Delta die on top. We have 14 and a half minutes left in this game. That is going to be Slim Sadie who gets through and is lead jammer for the Delta die. Scarlet Raven now caught behind that brace 3 wall in the back. I don't know if that was Lumberjill or Kilroy who just shoved Blue Barracuda at Scarlet Raven, but did not make contact. Scarlet Raven was able to get out, is now scoring eligible. Slim Sadie is like, but you will not score. Called off that jam. Undervalued participant, though, sending Scarlet Raven to the ground. Two of them are like, yeah, we love when that happens, don't you? And yes, I do. I also love when that happens. There's nothing more fun than a ginormous hit in the apex. You got a jammer flung off into outer space. But everyone's healthy and everyone's safe and everyone's having fun. That's why I do the sport. That's why I love it. On that line now, we've got Katarina hit for the bangers, and we've got Sailor Doom for the Delta die. Sailor Doom finding resistance on the inside, on the outside, tries the inside. Looks like it's Rhubarb able to capture and deposit Doom on the outside. It's going to cause a fall, though. Oh, looks like a penalty is being called on Sailor Doom, blocking with the head. She got too low and sent that helmet into another player. Going to send her to the penalty box. She is not eligible for lead jammer. Going to sit for 30 seconds. Starting just now, she just sat down. Katarina Hit is up against Baller in the front, almost out of play. There it goes. Katarina Hit is lead jammer now for the bangers. Coming around turns 1, and the pack is staying in turn 2. You got the bangers on the line, slowing that pack down or keeping it stopped. It's going to be Rhubarb up in the front, trying to help Katarina find a hole through a extremely strong blocker line that includes undervalued participant, Baller. I think I see Crest Almighty, and that is going to be aerial assault. So nobody I would want to ever have to jam past. And Katarina Hit is having a hard time getting past that line and recycled one more time. However, Sailor Doom was back in the fray and cut on the outside. So back to the penalty box for Sailor Doom. Going to be another 30 seconds unopposed for Katarina Hit to try and get through this blocker line. You can't really see what's going on, but I can tell you it's what was going on when you could see. It is a brace 3 wall slowing down Katarina. Now we're down to 2 and then 1. Aerial assault, the last to pass. Katarina Hit out. That is almost 40 seconds for those 4 points. 10 seconds for each point. And in she comes. She called a play for her team. Can't really see what it's doing on the inside of the line, but you do know that it appears that Katarina is on the inside. Crest Almighty is up at the front. Kat does a whoosh, floating around her hips, but only 3 points were called from that. It's going to be 3 more on that jam. 7 unanswered points for Katarina Hit. Scores 25-120 Deltas. Sailor Doom is standing in the penalty box. Patty Nar is on the jammer line. And we're going to have a power start for the bangers. Big thanks to Metro Transit for offering free rides to all North Star Roller Derby bouts this season. Metro Transit is a leading transportation resource for the Twin Cities, offering integrated network of buses, light rail, and commuter trains. Microtransit as well. If you want to find out more, you can learn at metrotransit.com. That is going to be Sailor Doom out of the penalty box through the pack and lead jammer. Now scoring eligible up around the back. We got a strong wall. Brace 3 in the back being led by Marlboro Dread, directing traffic. as I would say. Good hit and a recycle back by Natural Disaster. Enough chaos in the pack to let Patty Nar out. Patty Nar is now scoring eligible and coming around out of turn one, back into turn two, where the pack is living. Sailor Doom getting the note from her team, hey, call it off. She does just that. Going to be 4-0 on the champs. That was held to one scoring pass. Brings that score to 124 for the Deltas, 25 for the Bangers. 9 minutes and 54 seconds left in this game. And here we go. We're back at it. You've got Lunatic jamming up against Scarlet Raven. Scarlet Raven testing that inside line. Tippy-tappy, tippy-tappy, tippy-tappy. Is able to protect a spot for herself from Bala, but Bala uses that to get around another extremely strong brace 3 while in the front. Honestly, what the Delta are bringing to this game are great jammers. Don't get me wrong, their jammers are fantastic, but these blocker lines have just been impenetrable. When you're looking at very, very seasoned jammers like Katarina Hit and Scarlet Raven just unable to get anywhere, that's because those blockers are just none may pass today. Katarina Hit, who is the pivot on this jam, is sitting in the penalty box. Looks like Lunatic is lead. The jammer from the Bangers, who I believe is Scarlet Raven, but I can't see, is stuck in that pack. Yep, going to be a call off. 4 points on that board for the Deltas at that call off. It's going to lock Katarina Hit in the box. Probably messing up the jammer rotation we're about to see. It looks like a Girl Has No Name is about to line up on this line to jam up against Shankarella for Delta. So these are two jammers who have not jammed against each other yet tonight. I think each have one jam apiece before then. So a nice break up in that jammer rotation, gives some fresh legs on the track. Shankarella almost out in the front, but is caught by that brace 3 in the front. Looks like it's Patty Nar and Rift Track. That is a penalty for Blue Barracuda, just as Katarina Hit gets out of the box. Lead jammer has been called for Shankarella. Girl Has No Name just out now, is scoring eligible. That looks like Lumberjill chasing after Girl Has No Name. Realized that she was out of play before making contact, so no penalty was called there. 4 points up on that board for Shankarella. Going to be first 4 points for her. She calls that jam off. Score is now 25 for the Bangers, 132 for the Deltas. We've got 7.5 minutes left in this half, and then in the penalty box, I believe that is Blue Barracuda. Yes, Blue Barracuda for the Deltas. Remember, that is the Kitty. I'm going to say the name right. So it's Class Act Cats litter box, penalty box. Oh, there is Scarlet Raven out fast, lead jammer. The crowd goes wild. We haven't seen much of that. Right behind her is what I believe is Slim Sadie. Yes, that is Slim Sadie in the back, also scoring eligible and moving. Scarlet Raven through that penalty box, through that pack rather, on the inside line, each by one little wheel, all the way through, calls that off for unanswered points. A quick jam on the board for the Bangers. It's going to be 29-132. I liked it. That was pretty. Don't forget True North Roofing. If you're looking to update or upgrade your roofing or siding, True North Roofing has you covered. Locally owned, licensed, and insured, their craftspeople are dedicated to providing excellent care and service for Twin Cities homeowners. So thank you to that. Oh, we're at an official timeout. Our timeouts today are brought to you by Total Wellness Chiropractic in Roseville, so check them out. Now is a good time to talk about Turbo Tim's Automotive. Turbo Tim's has multiple auto repair locations in the Twin Cities, but they're famous for their shop kitties. Turbo Tim is also committed to supporting fun, innovative, and caring causes to improve the community for everyone. You can meet the kitty crew and learn more at turbotims.com. So bring in your car, meet some awesome people, and hang out with some cats. They're very well behaved cats, because I bet you that Turbo Tim and Class Act kitties all get together. and do the best thing they can for the Cats of the Twin Cities. Here we are. We're back from that official timeout. We've got Katarina Hit jamming for the Deltas, stuck up in that back brace 3-wall with, looks like, Kilroy and Lumberchill and Guillotina. While that was happening, Sailor Doom got through, got lead, and scored 4 points. So Sailor Doom is now 4 points up and looking to go to her second scoring pass to the penalty box. As undervalued participant. Looked like it was for a multiplayer block. So she's going to sit down for that multiplayer block. That's going to give a little bit of a pack advantage for the Bangers. Definitely helps to not have undervalued participant on the track when you are jamming. Katarina Hit able to get through, get by, and is now out and scoring eligible. Going to force the call off. Looks like it's going to be 8 on the jam, so this brings the score to 140 for the Deltas, 29 for the Bangers. And yeah, here we go. And here we go. We've got Scarlet Raven jamming for Scarlet Raven jamming for the Deltas up against Crest Almighty for the Bangers. Lead is with Crest Almighty. The two of them are right on it. They used to be teammates together on the travel team, and that was super fun for both of them. Looks like 4-4. They both got those points, got called off. Everyone in the room had a good time. And we're going to reset and go again. Score is 144-33. We're 4 minutes, 20 seconds in. It's going to be Katarina Hit caught in the back, an undervalued participant who is the jammer for the Deltas. We haven't seen undervalued participants jamming tonight, or much at all. So big and fun thing for us and for her. Gonna be 3 points for an undervalued participant, 0 points for the Bangers. Brings the score now to 147-33. All right, we're almost done. There's only 3 minutes left in this game. This is a team timeout, again, brought to you by Total Wellness Chiropractic. But I'm going to talk to you about P-Fund Foundation. It's a proud partner with North Star Roller Derby. The P-Fund Foundation is the Upper Midwest LGBTQ Community Foundation. You can check out their website at pfundfoundation.org to learn more about their scholarships for students and grants to nonprofits. So check out that P-Fund Foundation. And here we go. We got 3 minutes and 15 seconds left in this half game. I'm going to say game. So let's see where we go. Looks like we've got a Girl Has No Name up against for the Bangers. Jamming up against Guillotina. Not Guillotina. I can read numbers. That's going to be Shankarella. Shankarella rotated in here in the second half of the game and been doing a pretty good job with that. Out first, and his lead jammer is that Shankarella. Girl Has No Name is still stuck in that pack. You've got Rhubarb trying to get her out, but no, there's going to be a penalty called on a Girl Has No Name, who is now headed to that penalty box, taking a seat. And the pack is stopped in that far corner that we can't really see that great, but we've got some movement now up at the front. Shankarella able to break out past Natural Disaster, pick up 4 more points for 8 on the jam. Shankarella now headed to that penalty box. This is going to be a 2-minute jam. Because Shankarella loses lead jammer, so we've got a Girl Has No Name back in the fray. Shankarella out of the fray. Yeah, I can't see the jam clock, but oh, there it is. So the jam clock only has about 14 seconds left on it. So we definitely will get at least one more jam. Maybe more. Girl Has No Name is now out. Who now is scoring eligible right as that jam ends. Gonna make that score 158 for the Deltas, 33 for the Bangers, and we got about a minute left on the period clock. So a minute left in this game. Lots of clapping. Oh. So just a little slow to get them off the track, but they're okay. Medics are going to take a look, and everything is good to go. Everyone got up and walked off on their own accord. So thanks to those medics for being here. They are fantastic. We have such a dedicated medical team that have been with us for many, many years. Medical professionals, derby, ex-derby players, ex-officials, people that really understand how the sport works and are able to keep everybody safe and healthy. Really, honestly, when I first started doing roller derby many, many years ago, you know, sometimes the medics would just be like somebody's mom with some ice, and we've come so far since then, and it's really just so great to see how well the community takes care of each other and how great our medical care is. So, alrighty. Looks like we're gonna get about one jam left in this bout. Good time to talk about Kim Monahan. Kim Monahan is your local Northwestern mutual fund advisor. She believes that everyone deserves a financial plan and that the starting point of any financial conversation should be with you, your life, your family, your priorities, and your goals. So you can meet Kim in the community. You can contact her online. She's at Northwestern Mutual Financial Advisor. And here we go. We're back again. Looks like it's going to be Scarlet Raven jamming for the Bangers up against Blue Barracuda for the Deltas. We've only got about 45-ish seconds left in this half, which means that the jam clock will almost certainly act as the final clock. We're just going to slowly grind it out. Blue Barracuda pushing, trying to get out there. And lead jammer goes to Blue Barracuda just as Scarlet Raven pops up in front of her. And so now it's a bit of a foot chase. Will Blue Barracuda call this off? Will She let it go over the 14 seconds that we need till the end of the game, probably the second. We'll probably run the. No, she's going to call it off. Will somebody use a timeout to start a new jam? We'll see. It's looking like no. That's going to be the end of the game as far as I can tell. Our unofficial final score is going to be 158-33. So we aren't going to do a final jam. So it's going to be 158-33. The Deltas have won over the Bangers in this game. A super fun game. And yeah, we're not going to be gone for an hour. Okay, it becomes now official terminal score. So it's 158 for the Deltas, 33 for the Bangers. We're going to take a break before we come back. Halftime is definitely not an hour. Probably about 20 minutes. So, yeah, so it's going to be about 20 to 25 minutes. We're hoping to have our first whistle somewhere around 8:30. So you have about 20 minutes to find something to do for yourself, and I will see you then. Hello, welcome back to this, the extremely loud bout that we're about to begin. It appears that the Violent Friends are going to do their rollout. I will play their video in a moment, but first I'm going to allow whatever this is to play itself out. Because it looks like it's going to be fun. And I like fun. I'm here for fun. So let's see what fun things are about to take place. Oh, they're going to do a little thingy. Okay, I'm going to play their video. They're going to do some weaving so you can see the Violent Friends rollout video. Okay, the Violent Friends. Batty Longlegs, Bruisin' Susan, Darrell Be Blood, Disco Scream, Electra Cutie, Halibut, Marlboro Dread, Mayhem, Panic Attack, Pop Roxy, Riff Tracks, Snack Bite, Snarly Parker, I like that one, Torrential Pain, and Miko Meat Sauce and Mo Router. It's going to be your Violent Friends. And so now, welcome to the Kilmores. Here we go. The number 96, Betty Rocker. Number 73, Bonks. Number 833, that's Buzzkill. Number 68, Demise. Number 120 decibels, Face Melter. Number 520, Birdie Fly. Number 193, that's Giraffic Jam. Number 44, that's Gym Rat. Number 10, that's Carmageddon. Number 19, that's going to be Rebeast. Number 17, that is Red Hot Toddy. Number 1949, that is Red Panda. 58, you've got Salty Maud. 906, you've got Sassberry. And 1978, Weird Val Shankovich. The bunch coaches are Babe Froman and Marge Hadron Collider. There's your Kilmores. Alrighty. Just a reminder for everyone who wasn't here before or is there now that our timeout sponsor is Total Wellness Chiropractic, our jam line sponsor is Marty's Deli, and our penalty box sponsor is Class Act Cats. We'll be back to talk more about all of those beautiful sponsors as we go through the game. And the lights just got red. I think we're about to begin. Alrighty, my friends, on October Revolution, I'm the one that is calling games on this here computer. We are now awaiting the referees and other officials to say they're good to go. That's what that rolling whistle is. That rolling whistle means we're ready. Friends, it's time. Alrighty, we've got up on that jam line number 277 for the Violent Friends. That's going to be Electra Cutie. Up against 906 for the Kilmores. That is Sassberry. We've got Sassberry up in the front, pushing up against that last Violent Friend. Going to be lead jammer for Sassberry. That pivot Batty Longlegs from the Violent Friends going ahead to the penalty box is sitting down. We've now got a player in the box out, and scoring eligible is Electro Cutie, so both jammers can score. Going to force that call off from the Kilmores. Score is 4-0, Kilmore's Friends. And we are lined up and getting started again. I see on that jam line for the Kilmores are wearing green. The Violent Friends are wearing red, like all of your Violent Friends would be doing. It's going to be Halibut for the Violent Friends. That is Faye Smelter for the Kilmores. Faye Smelter hitting that braced 3-wall in the front first, while you've got Halibut stuck against that braced 3-wall in the back. Strong leadership in that the back 3-wall from the Kilmores. I can't quite see who it is yet, but as soon as I do, I will let you know. Everyone should put numbers on the front of their jerseys. This is my announcer's plea to you. Numbers on the front of your jerseys so I can say your name. Face Melter pushing up against that last blocker from the Friends. That Sank bite. Sank is out, is lead, is scoring eligible. Another recycle for Halibut. I saw a helmet cover move in the air, but it looks like Halibut still got it in hand and is in the back, caught against that brace 3 from the Kilmores. I can tell the Red Hot Toddy and Jim Rat are part of them, but that third blocker, I can't see your number. 193. Traffic Jam. Traffic Jam, you're doing a very good job guiding that brace 3-wall in the back there. I love it. In the front, we've got a brace 3-wall also being held. Going to cause a recycle of Face Smelter. That star pass happened so that Maddie Longlegs had that star, forced to call off. 4 points on the board for the Kilmores. Going to be 8 for them, 0 for the Friends. We're at 17 and a half minutes on the half. It's kind of fun because these teams have often said that when they play each other, it's the Kilmore Friends. So it's the Kilmore Friends. Jamming for the Friends, that is going to be number 73. I do not know who that is, but 73 and is, this looks like Nymphadora Box, who is now lead jammer for the Kilmores. Going to be up against, after a star stash, Scarlet Raven back again. Played in the last game, played in this game. Looks like jamming in both. She forces that call off. Going to be 4 more for the Kilmores. So Kilmores now have gotten 3 jams in a row with 4 points each jam. Each one a single scoring pass. That score is 12 for the Kilmores. We've got 0 so far on the board for the Friends. And we are reset again. It looks like we've got a retro start here. There's a toe stop on a pivot line, something you very rarely see, and is a fun and exciting blast from the past. Jamming for the Kilmore Friends, you've got number 277. For the Violent Friends, it's going to be Electric Cutie. But lead jammer is Sasbury from the Kilmores. This is a rematch from our first jam, so it looks like we're on a 4-jammer rotation for both of these teams. At least that would be my guess if I were doing pattern creation. Around the front, able to push through. That is 4 points now for the Kilmores. Looks like a star pass has been completed. So that's number 219. 219, that's Halibut, who's now the jammer for the Violent Friends. Halibut is stuck in the back there. It looks like a lot of people are falling down in the pack, causing a bit of chaos. Speed around the apex. Halibut trying to get free, but is recycled by Jim Rat. In that chaos, though, Sasbury through again. I haven't been talking enough about Sasbury because Sasbury has gotten 12 points so far. That is 3 scoring passes, is now on her 4th scoring pass. She's stuck up against a brace 3-wall in the front, but is able to kind of push them off and find that spot on the inside line, put her body through it. Going to be another 4 points up on the board for Sasbury. We're up to 16 on this jam. Back again towards the back. I hear a whistle and some yelling. I cannot tell who it was that was sent to the box. That was pack ref wanted to go doing the yelling and the talking. Looks like it was Red Panda, who is now sitting down in the penalty box for Kilmores. Sasbury is like, "What are you doing in the box, Panda?" And Panda's like, "I don't know. I did a thing. There was a whistle." And on we go. Sasbury getting through once again, up now to 24 points. 24 points. I don't even know how to do the math on that. That's like 6 scoring passes. That is going to end that jam. 24 points for the Kilmores. Like I said, brings the score 36 for them. 0 still for the Violent Friends. And we're off to the races, as they say. All right. Lined up now behind our jammer line, you've got Faye Smelter and Batty Longlegs. Faye Smelter is jamming for the Kilmores. And for the Friends, that is Batty Longlegs. Recycle there, huge recycle by number 911. That's Weird Val Shankovich on Daddy Longlegs. Now you've got Salty Maud up in the front, slowing that down. Looks like a penalty got called. I don't see who leaves the track, but lead jammer is awarded to Batty Longlegs, who is now scoring eligible and back in the pack. I see 1 set of hips. I see 2 set of hips. I see 3. There's the 4th. All 4 points in the air. It's going to be 4 points now on the board for the Violent Friends. Batty Longlegs calling that off to keep that all on the differential. So it's going to be 4 now for the Friends, 36 for the Kilmores. And there is 1 friend in the box as we go on to Jam 6. All right. On that line, we've got number 27 for the Violent Friends. Up against Nymphadora Bugs, who just immediately lead jammer straight up off that whistle. Panic Attack is jamming for the Friends right now, is stymied up behind that wall. Bonks was unstoppable, just didn't even get touched through that first scoring pass and is headed back at that pack again. Tries to take an apex jump on the inside, but both gets hit and doesn't land. Has to recycle in order to avoid that cut. Is taking another pass around the outside. This time Bonks takes an outside pass, but gets a cut at the same time that... Okay, we had both of them getting a cut at exactly the same time. They're both sitting down. They're both released. Everybody is back on the track. Here we go. It's a lovely roll. I'm extremely glad that I am not the penalty box manager in that situation. It looks like there was also an immediate star pass that happened. 277 for the Violent Friends seems to have the star. Yes, that is Electric Cutie, so don't be mistaken. Panic Attack was 27, had it before, and now Electric Cutie, who is 277, has that star. Nymphadora Bonks was able to get through and out 8 points now on the jam for Bonks. This is going to be a 2-minute jam because Bonks was the lead jammer when sent to the box on that cut. Out around that bottom, that is going to be Electra Cutie, extremely happy with her initial pass getting out of there, and is back now in the pack and scoring eligible, so everyone can score. All of the hips are points. 4 more on the board for Bonk. She comes out of there looking a little bit tired and a little bit slow, waiting for that jam clock, which happened. 4 points on the board for the Friends as well. Electric Cutie is extremely happy with that. It's going to be 8 for the Violent Friends, 48 for the Kilmores. 10 minutes left in this half, so that was a very fast half of roller derby. And there we go. We've got number 9. That is Sasberry jamming for the Kilmores. That looks to be Scarlet Raven for the Violent Friends. Scarlet Raven out, untouched, unbothered. Beautiful. Skating as if this is a warm-up and not a game. Through. Barely touches anybody. Calls that jam off immediately. Holds the Kilmores to 0 points on that. Going to be 4 points there for Scarlet Raven. 12 now for the Violent Friends. 48 for the Kilmores. And we're going to see a timeout be called by the Violent Friends. Hoping maybe to take a moment to get themselves reoriented is the word I would use. So our timeouts are brought to you by Total Wellness Chiropractic. Total Wellness Chiropractic is in Roseville. It's now accepting new patients. They're committed to empowering individuals to achieve optimal health, as well as giving them the knowledge and tools to take care of themselves. You can meet Catherine from Total Wellness Chiropractic when you're at our bouts, or you can go visit them in Roseville. They're a wonderful sponsor and a great chiropractic practice. So thank you to Total Wellness Chiropractic for sponsoring our timeouts tonight. Also take a moment to talk about our penalty box. We've been talking about it a lot. You can also call it our litter box because it is being sponsored tonight by Class Act Cats. You can turn your cat from sassy to classy. Class Act Cats helps cat parents with common and frustrating cat behavior problems solve their cat behavior woes, even if they feel like they've tried everything. So check out Class Act Cats. And our players tonight will be sitting in the Class Act Cats penalty/litter box. Lined up on that Marty Stelly's Jam line, and we'll talk more about them later. You've got number 44, that is Jimrat, up against Batty Longlegs. Jimrat out and lead pretty quickly for the Kilmores. Batty Longlegs spun out of bounds, a big recycle. Looks like she made the right call on how far back to go. Stays in bounds and tiptoes out. Now has to come back again. Looks like Jimrat is going to call that jam off. Not quite sure why, but she picked up 1 point before calling it. Unclear what happened, if she thought maybe that Batty Longlegs was out or if there was something. She wasn't feeling it. She wasn't feeling it. And so, yeah, here we go. Alrighty, now on the line down there, we've got number 510 jamming for the Kilmores. That is not on my list, so probably a Foster. Oh, I was gonna say, I bet you it's Patty Nar from the last game. Yep, Patty Nar. So that's gonna be Patty Nar jamming for the Violent Friends. It's gonna be Pop Roxy, number 11. Pop Roxy is stuck behind a brace 3 wall in the front. It looks like Panic Attack and Snake Bite are trying to break up that wall to get Pop Roxy free, but it just keeps reforming and reforming and reforming in front of her. The same time, Electrocutie shuts down Patty Nar, going to cause lead to be called on Pop Roxy at the same time that Salty Maw gets sent to the box for, I think it's illegal positioning. Pop Roxy is now lead and scoring eligible, approaching the back of the pack once again. Last Violent Friend empties out of the box, so the only person in that penalty box right now is Salty Maud from the Kilmores. Pop Roxy gets through pretty quick this time and is one-on-one up at the front of that pack against Weird Val Shankovich. Forces that call off. Roxy gets up, gets 3 points for the Violent Friends, is extremely happy with those 3 points. She was like, is it 3? Is it 4? Is it 3? It was 3. You're great. You did good job, Roxy. Good job. And that is going to be 15 now for the Violent Friends, 49 for the Kilmores. Up, and we're going to go again. A second, it looked like they might use the pivot line, but they didn't. Everybody came back, and on that line, we've got Sassberry up against Panic Attack, right? Yep. Sassberry is testing the waters, able to knock down Rift Track as they popped back across the track. Sassberry, I gotta call it, it's like pressure testing. Like tappy tap, tappy tap, tappy tap. And you're able to find that spot through. Darrell Bud last around. Lead jammer now on Sassberry. Looks like this is going to be a power jam for Sassberry. Panic Attack is taking a seat in the penalty box. Didn't quite see what that penalty call was, but this will be now a power jam for the Kilmores. Sassberry back again and trying to find her way through, finding a wall on the outside, but spins out I gotta say, that is like the best spot for a jammer, is just as the apex takes off and just as the apex ends on the outside line. Because when you're skating on the track, you naturally move off that line, and if you're not trying, you just leave a spot that's just big enough for a jammer to squeak on in. And then if you're paying so much attention to the outside line, you leave the inside line open. It's glorious. Anyway, 4 points more on the board for Sasbury. Going to bring her to 8 on the jam so far. Now we've got a nice tight pack that's covering the whole track, so it's much harder for her to get through. Some good tracking being done by the Violent Friends, able to keep their eye on where Sasbury is and knocking her over and over and over again to the inside. But Salty Maud plowing a path for her like driving behind a snowplow, and that is going to end that jam, force that call off. 12 points now for Sasbury. Remember, had like a 24-point jam at the beginning of the game, which is why we were looking at a 61-15 game with the Kilmores up with 4.5 minutes left in this half. Alrighty, here we go. Once again, we've got Faye Smelter jamming up against Batty Longlegs. Batty Longlegs now pushing on the inside, is able to get out first, is lead jammer for the Violent Friends. Same time, you got Blue Barracuda taking a seat in that penalty box. Batty Longlegs now approaching a brace for wall on the outside and uses those very long legs to try and jump through that apex. Isn't able to land, gets pushed back out and has to come again. Now is getting stuck in that brace through wall. In the meantime, Face Melter got free and came around. Batty Longlegs saw that and called it off. Going to be 2 points on that jam for Batty Longlegs and the Violent Friends, bringing the score to 61 for the Kilmores, 17 for the Friends. In the penalty box now, we've got Blue Barracuda, and it looks like Red Hot Toddy, so that's 1 blocker each. Blue Barracuda definitely sat down first, but both are sitting right now, so at least 10 seconds left for both of them. On the line, we've got a couple of jammers. We've got 1066, that's Sank Bite, up against number 73, that is Nymphadora Bonks. Bonks is fighting on the inside, fighting on the outside, gets pushed into the infield, has to skate around all of the officials to get back and around. But at the same time, while that is happening, a penalty was called on number 15 from the Violent Friends. That there's enough shake-up from that to give Nymphadora Bonks lead jammer. By the time she gets back around, there's only 1 Kilmore blocker left in that pack, but somehow she's able to get on the inside before anyone realizes what's happening. There's a big hit. Yeah. So there was a big hit from Sankbite on the wall during that last maneuver. I thought I saw a back block. Gal Jazeera just called a back block. Sankbite is sitting down in the penalty box. At the same time, there's still another blocker standing in the box for the Violent Friends. This will be a power start for Sasbury, who is a jammer you really don't want to give a power start to. Going to cause the Kilmores to line up on that inside line, though, so that there isn't as much space for that brace through wall to catch her, and then also they can kind of like treat her like a train and get her through on the inside, which is exactly what they did. Lead jammer goes to Sasbury right away, even though she kind of like fell down during that train maneuver. It still worked just as well. Salty Maud, a very effective wrecking ball, is able to break up a brace 3 wall once again, giving Sasbury what she needs to get those 4 points. A whistle just rang out. It looks like number 15 is headed back to that penalty box. That is Daryl Blood. They'll be sitting for another penalty. At the same time, you've got Sasbury wedged into that brace 3 wall, but it looks like there is a star pass going on that allows one of those brace 3s to go back, get the star. It looks like it's going to be Electrocutie that has the star for the Violent Friends, but is still caught up in the defenses of the Kilmores. Sasbury able then to break through, scores those 4 points, is now back around again on the 3rd scoring pass. Now we're up to 12 for Sasbury and the Kilmores on this jam. Underneath me where I can't see is Electrocutie. Looks like taking A meeting there from Weird Valshankovich and Salty Mod. Will Valshankovich then scooting slowly back through the pack to cause a larger recycle for Electrocutie. Very, very effective. Salty Mod once again just holding that line, but Electrocutie is able to get back in right behind her so she can keep on going. There was an aisle on the inside that she was able to come out. Now everybody is scoring eligible. While that was happening, though, Sasbury scored 2 more scoring passes. Is up to 20 points on the jam. Apparently has decided we're going to run this all the way out. There's 10 seconds left. Everybody's able to score. Everybody's in the pack. Electrocutie was stuck in there. We'll see if she scored any points. Yep, 1 more for each of them. That'll be 21 on the jam for Sasbury, 1 on the jam for Electrocutie. Going to bring the score to 89 for the Kilmores, 18 for the Friends, and Sasbury having a humongous night. At least half of these points are hers, if not more. And that's going to be your halftime. So we'll be back in 10 minutes. Go get a drink, relax, and it's just a good time for everybody to take a minute and breathe. Hello, hello, friends. We've got, what, 20 more minutes of roller derby ahead of us this here evening. We're at Quincy Hall in northeast Minneapolis, where the weather is a balmy, like 22 degrees. And you got to make sure you don't park on the street here, or you'll get towed. And here we go. This is the bout from between the Kilmore and the Violent Friends. Kilmores are at 89. The Friends are at 18. Then it's Sasbury, who's responsible for a majority of those 89 points, out and lead. Big hit for Bob Roxy, out of bounds, forces that call off. Batty Longlegs was that jammer. Score now is 0-0 on that jam, so it's going to keep us at 89-18. Don't forget to check out Francis. If you're looking for brunch tomorrow, head on down the street to Francis Burger Joint, Minnesota's only fully vegan and full bar establishment. While nothing was killed making their burgers, that doesn't mean they don't make a killer burger. I've been there, they're really good. They also have really good cheese fries, and they're vegan cheese. If you're old and you think vegan cheese is bad because you're old, it's good now. You should go eat it. Alrighty, jamming now for the Kilmores is going to be Fee Smelter. She is stuck up in that wedge, the braced three wall with a fourth, who's going to be the bridge right now as that's Jim Rat is headed to the penalty box and sitting down for the Kilmores. Wedged in their braced three wall is number 219. That's going to be Halibut. Big recycle for Red Panda, getting Halibut all the way back past the jammer line. It's going to be Red Hot Toddy and Traffic Jam. Traffic Jam has been in the front of that brace three wall every time I've seen them on the track, and very good direction. It is Face Melter now, who pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. And finally, those Violent Friends ran out of space to block her. She is your lead jammer. Pushing through that penalty through that pack is number 219. Like I said before, it's going to be Halibut. She is also now scoring eligible. That forces the call off from Face Melter. And that's going to be 3 points now for Face Melter and the Kilmores. I mean, 93 for them, 18 for the Violent Friends. And we've got 17 and a half minutes left in this game. A little bit of playing out on the line between Scarlet Raven and Nymphadora Bonks. Scarlet Raven was once a Kilmore at the same time as Nymphadora Bonks, who's now lead jammer. So they once were teammates and now we're not. Scarlet Raven's trying so hard to stay inbounds and does not. Salty Mod had knocked her out. She's like, oh man. And pushes out again. Going to be 4 points up on the board for Nymphadora Bonks in that period of time while Scarlet Raven is fighting. But there is a star pass for the Violent Friends. I think that's Torrential Pain, who's got, nope, that's Electrocutie, who's got that star. Going to be 8 points for the Kilmores and no points for the Friends. Going to bring us to 101-18. 16 and a half minutes left, so that was a 1 minute-ish jam. And we are back at it. I see now Sasbury's up there against Batty Longlegs. Batty Longlegs having a good night, but not nearly as good a night as Sasbury, who's scoring a lot of points and is able to do a very good job at cutting through a very good set of defenses by the Violent Friends. Batty Longleg is pushed and pushed and pushed, but does not go out of bounds, and they are your lead jammer. Sasbury somehow magically appears behind them, though, and now it's a foot race for the pack. Will Batty Longlegs call it up or keep it? Looks like Batty Longlegs is going to stay, calling it just as they hit the pack. Not sure what happened, but it looks like 1 point for Batty Longlegs, no point for Sasbury. Going to call the winner of that jam, Batty Longlegs. They are able to score unanswered point for the Violent Friends. Going to be 101 for the Kilmores, 19 for the Violent Friends. Now we got Salty Maw jamming for the Kilmores. And that is Halibut for the Violent Friends. Halibut now is lodged in that brace 3-wall. In the front, you've got Red Panda, and that is Weird Val Shankovich joining. Looks like another push on the outside, gonna recycle Halibut. Big, big recycle. Red Panda's like, over here, please. Back again. Looks like Face Smelter is acting as the bridge, and you got that braced wall in the front. Salty Mod finally able to get out of that. They run out of space there. Gonna be lead jammer for the Kilmore Friends. Halibut taking another run and is out and scoring eligible now. That pack is big and long. Violent Friends want to be in the front so they are not points. And that is what happens. Electric Cutie hits Salty Mod out, forces the call off because there is Halibut. Gonna be 1 point for the Kilmores, 0 points for the Violent Friends. So another win I'm gonna call on the jam for the Violent Friends, 102 for the Kilmores, 19 for the Friends. But if you were looking at the two halves, I think that they're doing a much better job as the Violent Friends in this second half, partially because of the 102 points, I would say like 75 of them are probably Sasbury's. So keeping Sasbury off the track can be helpful. That is a cut now being called in for the Bonks. They are taking a seat in the penalty box and are not eligible to lead. Lead is still open, so that is Scarlet Raven in the pack with that helmet on. Must not have been paying attention because now no one is out. It's going to be a 2-minute jam. There was a star pass there to Marble Dread, who has now got that star for 2 whole minutes. I think that's Marble Dread. I could be wrong, actually. I'm gonna wait and see. Yep, that is Marble Dread, who's the jammer for Violent Friends. There is no lead drummer. Nymphadora Bonks through their initial pass now. Marble Dread is pushed up against the front, is stuck against number 17 from the Kilmores. That's Red Hot Toddy. Red Hot Toddy cannot hold Marble Dread anymore. Going to be 4 points on the board for Marble Dread. At the same time, Bonks, who is scoring eligible, remember, is stuck up against that brace 3-wall in the back. They are tracking them extremely well. Scarlet Raven is now kind of leading the defenses after that star pass. Doing a lot of yelling on the track, but is not able to get everyone together in time for Bonks to find a spot through the middle while they're trying to help Marble Dread. 4 points on the board for Bonks. She's back into the pack, going from the outside to the inside. Just about to get around, but Scarlet Raven spots them, taps them to the inside, and runs as far back as possible. We got another whistle going. It's a cut being called. It looks like the cut is going to be on Scarlet Raven, so she's about to sit in the box. We got 1 point called for the Kilmores on that pass. 3 for the Friends, I believe. Is it 5 points for the Kilmores on that jam? 7 for the Friends, so 2 points on the differential for the Violent Friends. Score is now 107-26, and we've got 11 and a half minutes left in this game. Once again, we're seeing Sasbury and Batty Longlegs. Batty Longlegs goes straight into that brace 3-wall and then bounces off, is able to get through the defenses of her own team and take off as fast as possible. Sasbury right behind Batty Longlegs, also scoring eligible, also out, and is getting around, is able to jump around on the outside apex. 1 point for Batty Longlegs. They were doing a great job. Couldn't call it off, though, before Sasbury picked up those 4. So it's 4 points for the Kilmores on that jam. 1 for the Friends. Going to be 111-27 with 10 minutes and 42 seconds left in this game. Looks like we got a change up on the line for the Kilmores. I'm looking at Buzzkill with the star on head. Going to be 277. That is Electrocutie for the Violent Friends. Now we're looking at a timeout. It appears that the Kilmores? Yep, the Kilmores are using one of their timeouts. They have one. Oh, is it an official timeout? This is a team timeout. Fun fact, the officials are communicating to you what timeout it is by pointing. So you'll see that the jam timer, which is the person who stands on the jam line, you can barely see in this angle, but you'll see we'll make a little T, tap T, and then we'll point with their hand. I'll tap, tap, point to the Kilmores. Don't forget to check out Angry Inch Brewing, angry beer for happy people. Angry Inch has everything you can need. Beer and a dog-friendly patio, not in the winter. Take a trip down to Lakeville and check out their full-flavored malt-forward beers. Hang out with your puppy and have a good time in the South Metro. And here we go. We're back at it again. We've got number 277. That's going to be Electric Cutie. She is jamming against Buzzkill. Buzzkill is just fighting and fighting for a spot on that outside line. She's like, I will pass you. And those two violent friends in the front are like, no, you won't. I think that's Halibut. And it was Halibut and Sankbite at the front, but eventually Buzzkill did get through. Is Lead Jammer. She's back around and scoring eligible at the same time. It's going to be a big fight from Electric Cutie. Last second trying to block from Jimrat, but Jimrat blocks out of play. So going to the penalty box, that's a strong blocker to lose in that pack. So maybe Electric Cutie has a chance to force that call off, and she does. Going to be 3 points on the board for the Friends. 3 points on the board for the Kilmores. Scored out was 114 to 30. Kilmore's still on top. I know the score is extremely skewed right now, but I will tell you the second half has been much tighter, much closer, and much more of a defensive romp for both teams, but especially the Friends, who were able to kind of shut down those 20, 25-point jams. It is Nymphadora Bonks jamming for the Kilmores up against Panic Attack for the Violent Friends. Bonks is just unable to find a spot that is a braced 4-wall there. 3-wall in the front because Jimrat is still in the box for the Kilmores, and that 3-wall has to stay somewhat near that braced 4-wall in the back, because if they get too far up, they'll destroy the pack. And given that their jammer is in the front, they would much more quickly become lead jammer and get out than the one in the back. So, you know, they're really kind of pushing there. Looks like at the same time Panic Attack got recycled, Bonks was able to use the chaos of both teams trading places in the pack to get out and be lead jammer. So Bonks is the lead jammer, and they are scoring eligible right now. At the same time, Battery Longlegs is taking a seat in the box with the pivot stripe on their helmet. Bonks is now up against 2 in the front. We've got Panic Attack up against 4 in the back. Jimrat is now the one guiding that braced 4-wall. The 2 Violent Friends left in the pack, there's only 2 of them that are the pack, are trying to break up that 4-wall to get their jammer out of dodge, but they just are not able to do it. Nymphadora Bonks seems a little bit gassed. They took longer to get around than I expected and aren't dashing through that pack at the same speed. Patty Longlegs way out of play there, gives a tappy-tappy, and then goes back into play because the refs are like, excuse me, you cannot play roller derby over there. Bonks gets pushed around but doesn't really fall or lose position, is able to get back into that pack, is still scoring eligible, is clearly exhausted though, going to call that one off. 2 points now up on the board for Kilmore. It's going to be 8 total on the jam for Bonks, 0 on the board in that jam for the Violent Friends. And I lost, there it is, there's the time. Looks like we've got 6.5-ish minutes left in this game. And here we are again. That's lead jammer on the board for a Violent Friend. That Violent Friend is going to be Electric Cutie, but right behind her is Sasbury. Unstoppable, unslowdownable Sasbury. Electric Cutie is like, I will beat you. Gets through, picks up 4 points. Sasbury is not held scoreless though, is able to get 3, so that's 3 for the Kilmores, 4 for the Friends. Sasbury just not letting herself get beat tonight, but Electric Cutie was not getting shut out either, so that was an exciting jam with a little under 6 minutes left in this game. We've got Face Melter up there with Scarlet Raven. Scarlet Raven is jamming in red. We've got Face Smelter in green. Face Smelter sees a spot on the outside and mad dashes out of the pack and is now lead jammer. Scarlet Raven is just looking for any little hole, but is not being given one. The defense tonight on the Kilmores is rough. As it was on the Deltas, actually. I bet you it was fun to watch them play each other last month, but I was not here. 2 braced threes with a bridge and a bridge. Jimrat and Blue Barracuda are bridging. Trying to get that pack to be half of the whole track, it looks like. Really, you got Pop Roxy was controlling that brace in the front. Recycle is just too much. Going to call that off. 2 points for Kilmore's on that. Jam 0 for the Friends. Scores now 129-34 with 4.5 minutes left in this game. Thank you so much for coming with me tonight and sitting through this. Also want to mention that Museum Services is a sponsor of ours for 5 decades. They've been dedicated to protecting, preserving, and promoting the fine arts. Experts for all your art handling needs, including installations, framing, shipping, crating, and storage. So if you're doing things with art, you probably want to check out Museum Services. Taking a seat in that class act litter box, that's going to be Electric Cutie. Picked up a penalty right off the whistle. Salty Maud is the jammer for the Kilmores and is also lead jammer. 4 points on the board for that pass. Salty Maud is known for like pirouetting around defenders and also just laying them out flat. Both delicate and power in her jamming repertoire. Going to be calling that jam up just as Electric Cutie's out of that penalty box. Going to be 6 on the jam for Salty Maud. 135-34. This is 3 minutes left in the game, and yeah, like I said, we just need a 100-point jam. Actually, fun story. Before, it was only 4-point jams, and you could have 5-point jams. I once did see a 52-point jam. I was the scorekeeper. It was awful. Jamming now, we've got Sasbury for the Kilmores up against number 505 for the Kilmore Friends. I can't see who that person is, not on my list. Oh, there we go. Bruisin' Susan. Bruisin' Susan is the jammer for the Kilmore Friends. Bruisin' Susan's first time with the star on today. Sasbury, not the first time with the star on today. Taken off at full speed is lead jammer for the Kilmores. We've got 2 minutes and 23 seconds in the period, 1 minute and 22 seconds in the jam. So we almost certainly will see another jam. Never say never, but we're going to see another jam. At least. We've got Sasbury now wedged up in the front. And Bruisin' Susan just completely stymied. It looks like it's weird Val Shankovich now who's controlling that brace 3. The Kilmores are really using like a mini pivot or a brain of the brace 3 who's kind of directing the back 2. So more than some teams, and you'll see the Violent Friends doing this, you saw the Deltas do it more, but it's almost like a spinning top. I think of it kind of like a hurricane, right? Like it moves to trap the jammer and move them around in space. But the way the Kilmores are doing it is they have somebody who's usually the brace, and they're directing the other two to keep that person more caught. So it's just kind of two ways of doing the same thing, and it's been fun to watch the Kilmores really execute the controlled brace like that. While I was talking to you about all those things, Sasbury picked up another 4 points, so it's 4 on the jam. Looks like there was a star pass that happened on the Violent Friends, so that's going to be number 27, Panic Attack, is now the jammer for the Friends. Sasbury is caught up in a brace in the front, is trying to find a spot on the outside, calls that off. We've got about 55 seconds left in the game. There's going to be a 30-second lineup, so we'll see one more jam. Highly unlikely we'll see 2. Score now is 141-34, with the Kilmores winning pretty decisively. But we get to go again. This one's for funsies. Up there we've got, looks like Patty Nara jamming for the Kilmores, and Batty Longlegs for the Violent Friends. Batty Longlegs finding some trouble in a line of Face Melter, Salty Mod, and Red Panda. Those 3 have been blocking together like that for, I don't know, a decade. So they can probably read each other's minds and bodies without even communicating. But Batty Longlegs fights and fights and fights and fights and is able to get lead jammer. They are now scoring eligible and in control of the jam. Patty Nar getting recycled. It's going to be Gerald B. Blood in the back, keeping Patty busy. Batty Longlegs comes around the corner, picks up 4 points, calls it off, and is like, we're done. We're done with the roller derby tonight. I'm going to wait for all the points to be recorded. The unofficial score right now is 141-38. I'm pretty sure it'll be official that way. So it looks like the Kilmores have won this second bout, 141-38. Their first game, we saw the Delta die, win over the Bangers. So thank you all so very much for joining us tonight at this bout at Quincy Hall. Our next bout is going to be on March 14th. Same bat time, same bat place here in Quincy Hall. Doors at 6, game at 7. So come join us here in Northeast Minneapolis if you can. And if you can't, make sure you join us online again. I want to thank you all so very much. I'm October Revolution. It's been an honor and a pleasure to bring you roller derby tonight. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your weekend.